Hey, this is Noah Manning, your Bay Area real estate partner and guide. Today I want to teach you 11 things you should know as a first-time home buyer that are going to give you the confidence and clarity to navigate a successful home purchase in the Bay Area market. Number one, hire the right real estate agent. Yes, I'm biased. I'm a realtor, and I know how much value I bring into the lives of the people that I serve. The Bay Area market is unlike most other markets throughout the country, if not the world. It's complex, it's competitive, it's fast moving. So if you have the right real estate agent, someone that you trust, someone that you feel comfortable with, someone that you feel like is a true partner and has the experience, the knowledge, and the skill set to get the job done, you are setting yourself up for success from the beginning. Number two, the list price is not necessarily the market value. I start here because I've met so many buyers over the years that have spent so much time looking at houses for months and realizing that the list price that they're listed at isn't actually what the home is going to sell for. Now, having the right agent is going to help with this, but the more you know about pricing, the earlier on, the less you'll feel let down and the more confident you'll feel about the type of homes you're looking for and the areas you're looking in. Every area within the Bay Area has a different pricing strategy, and it's important to understand some of the key metrics like sale to list ratio, which means what is the on average percent that most homes are selling for in comparison to the price that they're listed at. If you know these things in advance, it's gonna set your expectations and set you up for success. Number three, get your financial ducks in a row. Does this mean you've got to get everything perfectly fine-tuned? No, it doesn't. But what it does mean is get your financial information organized. I even recommend getting a money file, and this is a physical file, and this allows you to put things like your pay stubs, your tax returns, your bank accounts. These are all the documents that a mortgage lender is going to ask you for, and the more you have these organized and ready in advance, the easier the process is to be prepared to get pre-approved and to make sure that it's convenient and seamless and doesn't disrupt the other aspects of your busy life. So number four, get pre-approved with a local lender. Well, why shouldn't you just use Rocket Mortgage or another online lender? Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but because the Bay Area market is competitive and is unique, a local lender is going to provide unique value that will give you an advantage as you go through this process. First off, they understand what it takes in terms of closing timelines for you to be competitive against other buyers or even cash buyers. They can often close more quickly. Second, they have a reputation if they're well known, and that's going to give you an advantage because agents want to know if they're selling their client's house that the lender that the buyer's working with is reputable, they're experienced, and they're going to get the job done. And lastly, if this is your first purchase, having someone that's educationally oriented and is going to be able to answer your questions and actually preempt and guide you forward so that you don't miss anything important is truly valuable. Number five, the highest price offer doesn't always get the house. Well, wait a second. What do you mean by that? Well, price is one of four factors that I find is taken into consideration by most listing agents and sellers when they're evaluating who they want to select as an offer. So price is important, and I won't downplay that. You need to be competitive in terms of price in order to win. But there are three other factors. Number two is down payment. How much money you're putting down makes a difference. An offer with, say, 50% down versus an offer with 5% down is going to look much more attractive to a seller, and that's going to factor into their decision. Number three, contingencies. I'm not going to go into deep detail about contingencies, but they're basically protections for you as a buyer. And it's important that you understand them, but how you use contingencies in your offer is going to make a difference in how attractive your offer is. Last but not least is who your real estate team is, and this constitutes your realtor and your lender. The more reputable, experienced your realtor and lender team are, the more likely that the seller and the listing agent are going to feel confident knowing that they're going to be able to get the job done and that they're working with trustworthy professionals on the other side of the deal. Number 6, you as a buyer have the right to have contingencies in your offer. So what are contingencies? They're basically protections for you contractually in the home buying process. The 3 main contingencies as a buyer are inspections, the right to do inspections, loan, making sure that you're able to go through the process and get approved for a loan, and appraisal, making sure that when the property is appraised, you have protection if it's appraised below your offer price. Now, it is common in the Bay Area for winning offers to be contingency free. But it's also important that you understand what choice you're making and what risks you're taking on if you choose to waive contingencies. I recommend taking it on a case-by-case basis, getting the guidance of your realtor for each house that you're interested in, and making sure that you're strategically using contingencies when it's to your advantage and consciously and intentionally waiving them by doing the appropriate due diligence up front if you're gonna write without contingencies. Number 7, consider neighborhoods, cities, and areas that might be lesser known or that you haven't initially considered. When you're making your first purchase, I'm a big advocate of casting a wider net. This doesn't mean disregarding the areas that you know you're interested in, but it is an opportunity for you to go on some adventures and discover other areas that could be a good fit for what you're looking for. As you go about the process, you may find that you end up focused on an area or a neighborhood that you didn't even know about when you first started the process. So be open-minded, be willing to go out and explore different areas, and eventually you'll find and be confident about the areas that you're primarily focused on. Number 8, there is no such thing as a perfect home. Yeah, I said it. There's no such thing as a perfect home. I've had the honor of working with people, whether it's a $400,000 purchase, someone looking for a $4 million custom home, there's always compromises. And that doesn't mean you should compromise in ways that don't allow you to get what you truly need. But it is important to have the right mindset and expectations up front. Be willing to accept that there's gonna be some things that you're gonna have to compromise on, and get clear about what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. If you go into the process with this mindset, it's gonna set you up for success from the beginning and save you a lot of heartache. Number 9, there is no perfect time to buy. No matter when you're going about making your home purchase, there are always going to be pros and cons. To give you an example, in 2021, interest rates were historically low, below 3%. And great, this gave buyers more buying power and a much lower payment. But at the same time, there were often 10, 20 offers on every house at that time. Now let's look back on 2023. Interest rates were more than double. At a certain point, we almost hit 8%. But the nice thing for buyers at that time was there were opportunities. Homes were sitting on the market longer, and it gave buyers more chances to negotiate and be mindful and patient and intentional about their purchases. So no matter what is going on in the market, there are always going to be pros and cons. And what is most important is to look at your specific situation and find out where the opportunities are, where the challenges are, and focus on making the right choice for your situation. Number 10, remember to factor in closing costs as an expense for your purchase. So what are closing costs? These are your mortgage fees, escrow fees, title insurance fees, transfer taxes, and a number of other miscellaneous fees. These usually range from 1 to 3%. I typically recommend for my clients to factor in 2 to 3% of the purchase price. Now this is a material amount, so it's important you factor this in up front, and as we go through the process, we'll be able to get a much clearer and more itemized understanding of what these costs are so that you know exactly how much you can expect to pay. Number 11, trust the process. Buying a home is a process, especially in the Bay Area market. And it's important that you're educated on what the process is, and that as you go through it, you trust in the process. Having helped hundreds of people, I have seen the themes. Heartbreak is often one of them. Most buyers in the Bay Area don't get their first offer accepted. Now, I am a ninja and I do get people their first offer. But in some ways, it's better that you don't get your first offer offer accepted, because it gives you an opportunity to go through the process and really make sure that you feel aligned and clear. And so everyone's process is different. That's been my experience. Your process will be different than your friends or your family members' process. But the beautiful thing in my experience is if you trust yourself, take it one step at a time, and always make the right decision that's the next decision, you will end up in a home you love and feel confident in the decision that you made.